accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
Happy Bok Kai to you.
Happy Bok Kai to you. Happy Bok Kai, dear Candace. Happy Bok Kai to you.
And many more.
But it is the deity's birthday, just not mine.
Candace Young Fresquez. Got that right. Are you a former Bok Kai hostess?
I am.
You are? So it's in your blood, of course, is the Bok Kai Festival. And it is the oldest continuous parade in California history, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And we got pictures to prove it. Marysville, with the old dragon, what was his? Mulong?
Mulong. Yeah.
And that dragon is still on display at the Chinese American Museum?
So, no, it's actually in the museum that was recently finished inside the temple.
Okay.
And he wasn't refinished. He was kind of restored and cleaned by some gentleman with a group out of San Francisco. And it was actually the first dragon that they can document that came here back in the 1800s. So one of the first large items that left China.
Are you familiar with a lot of the history of the Chinese American society or people in our area in Marysville?
A little bit. I wouldn't say I'm as versed as some others. There's some who dig deep. I probably just dig the surface.
Do you know where the tunnels are at?
I know where some are.
That is the longest continuous thing. Yeah, of course, they're locked, they're closed, and they're blocked off and everything else.
The Bok Kai was the very first community event that 93Q got involved in. And I don't even remember how I met you, but we were talking and somewhere, and I don't know if I called you to find out about it or vice versa, but we had the opportunity then to host it, as far as announcing it, right? And I knew absolutely zero about anything, right? And so Heather, which is your cousin, so she came in and we did it together, and she's just a lot of fun, right? Yeah. But she knows that. That's what made me think of that when you were talking about the history. But now I don't even know how many years we've been doing it, but it is so fun. I mean, who doesn't like firecrackers, right?
Oh, that's so true.
I mean, I hate to say that, it's like really, Fish, it's all about the firecrackers to you, right?
Well, we've been doing it for so long. The Bok Kai is when I was a kid, we would go there and get the ones that didn't go off, and we would take those and we would pull the fuse out a little bit, and we'd make our own firecrackers out of them. But because the Chinese community were the only people that are allowed to have firecrackers.
Well, I didn't know Bok Kai was a deity, right? I didn't know that.
Bok Kai.
I thought
Bok Kai,
Bok
right?
Kai.
So I thought it was the name of the...
It is. It's
dragon,
evolved.
right?
No. Oh.
So I just thought,
right.
here comes Bok Kai. Right? And they're like, oh, man, Fish. It's like, no.
Bok Kai walking down the tree.
So it's been really good. But then I began to meet people in the community and find out about the history and heritage of the Chinese community here. And that was pretty exciting, right? But, like I was talking to Candace, it's really become a complete community event. It's been here so long. Right? Yeah. And everybody gets involved in it, And I just, to me, it's just a very fun event. It's very fun. I like celebration, and it is full of celebration.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Definitely a community event. It's evolved to not just a cultural Chinese event, it's a cultural community event, and it celebrates the history here in Marysville. Because, the parade is almost as old as the city itself, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Tell me about the lore, if you will, of the dragon. Because I know there's a pearl that doesn't he chase the pearl? Is that what it is?
He does chase the pearl, and so eventually it's like a cat and mouse game because he doesn't ever catch the pearl. But if he were to catch the pearl, he would have everlasting life, and that's why he chases the pearl. But he doesn't ever catch it.
And it's so nice that traditionally folks from Beale Air Force Base are the legs. It's 100 foot long. Is that what it is? 150?
Yes, 150, I believe. I can't quite remember the exact number, but yes. So airmen or from Beale have had the honor of being the legs of the dragon for, gosh, I can't even remember, since the 70s, maybe even longer than that.
And they train for it too.
They do. They come out for a practice day. I've had videos recorded with groups in San Francisco that kind of cover like, this is what you can do, or this is what you can help. And so it's pretty cool. I feel like it's an honor because, I mean, Fish, you were in the military. How often did that ever happen as a volunteer option?
Yeah. Most of the volunteer options had to do with digging holes.
You learn
I would
things.
like to volunteer to do a little gardening, right?
It's true. You learn things like the lion dancers. That is so cool. The way they
those
get
are
up
cool.
on the other people's knees and they stand up, and the way you give them the little red envelopes, and you feed them this. I love this. You'll get this, Fish. You feed them lettuce. You know what lettuce is?
Money.
That's right, my friend. Because
You're right.
that's a fundraiser, I guess, if you will.
It is. So lion dancers, did you guys see we reposted the difference between lions and dragons?
No.
So lions have 2 people and dragons have many people. And so that's how you can tell the difference, because everybody always says, oh, I want to see the dragons. And the little, the one with 2 people come by, and those are lions. So, John, you got it right. Those were lions.
I like of course, the Gong Master. Is it Al Wong Jr.?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. Carrying
great.
on a tradition. Because this is talk about tradition. This is probably big tradition in your family. Are you the only Bok Kai hostess in the past? Or you got like an aunt? Or?
Oh, in my family itself,
Yeah.
I have an aunt that was a hostess, I believe, in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Heather was actually a hostess as well.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I have another cousin. She was a hostess a few years back as well. So, yeah, it runs in, bloodlines and tradition. But, born and raised here, it was kind of life,
And
every
who's-
March.
Who's our newest one?
Her name is Mia Jung, and she's the granddaughter of Doug and Deidre Eschman and Evelyn Jung, and her parents both own businesses here in town. So she's a high schooler at Marysville. She's active and I could go on forever and all her accolades. It's amazing. So we're really excited to have her.
What does
I
it
just
mean?
saw the post on her.
Yeah.
Showed up on Facebook. It was kind
Yeah.
of cool.
What does it mean to be the hostess? Do you get get to go to Chinatown and get allotted, and you have to do the wave to everybody?
Well, definitely the wave. I mean, you got to write down that really awesome sports car or classic Corvette and wave like that. We
Oh, you
practice for
have
days.
it.
Oh,
She
yeah.
has it.
But so back in the day, I've been told it was like this whole pageantry.
Yeah.
And they had balls and they had dinners, and people came from all over to participate and have an actual pageant for the Bok Kai hostess. And obviously, as time has continued, we haven't been able to do that. The standing, I guess, choice to be elected or chosen or thought of as hostess, you have to have Chinese roots. You have to be of Chinese descent. So we don't have a whole lot that have the ties back into our community anymore, because as our families you've got to go to college. So you go through school and you leave and you don't come back.
Yeah.
And so that becomes a little harder. So it's really nice when you can find somebody who's born and bred here as well, like Mia. She's in high school. She can put those things down on her high school college applications, and to be able to have the honor to say, represent your community. I think it's pretty cool. It doesn't happen everywhere. In Chinatown and San Francisco, you have to run for a pageant. I think you had to be 18, and a lot of them have been through college before they run for Miss Chinatown. So to be able to do it in your teens here, I think it's pretty cool. It doesn't happen anywhere else.
Well, it's coming up on March 5th. Is that right?
It is March 5th.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. You must have gave me that frog that you were throwing around there, Fish.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But it's coming up on March 5th. What time? Is it like 11 o'clock is when it starts?
Yes, we always start at 11
Okay.
on the corner of 6th and D is where it starts.
Okay.
However, that's not the best seat in the house.
No.
Best seat in the house is where Fish is at on what is that, C?
Fourth
Between-
and C. I think it's fourth
where
and C.
they do the fireworks
No,
at the end.
so we
and-
do our grandstand on C between 1st and 2nd, closer to
Okay.
2nd Street. And I always say that's
That's where the action's
where the
at. That's where the
judges are.
firecrackers
that's where
go
the
off.
firecrackers go off. That's
Yeah.
where the grandstand is, so everybody
And the
performs
dancers,
there. Yep.
the performers and things like that. But that's coming up. That's at 11 o'clock. But it's an all-day thing. It's an all-weekend festival, isn't it?
It is an all weekend. So we start, Saturday at 11 a.m. with the parade, and that runs till the parade's end. We don't have an end date time for the parade. And then we have vendors on 2nd Street. And we're taking up all of 2nd Street this year. So 2nd between D and B, we'll have vendors, food vendors, craft vendors.
Is it too late for people to become a vendor?
No, it's not too late. So all of those forms can be found on our website, bokkaiparade.com.
Okay.
They can be downloaded and emailed or downloaded and mailed. They can always reach us on Facebook, Bok Kai Festival on Facebook, and message us and say, hey, I'd like to be a vendor. Do you still have space? Our deadline actually is postmarked by Thursday the 17th. So there's still time.
I know what is not going to happen on the 5th.
Rain.
Rain.
Rain, you're right. Rain before and rain after, but not
It's
during.
rained, what, once or twice in the entire history of the Bok Kai parade, which is interesting because Bok Kai is the Chinese water god.
He
correct?
is, correct.
So this whole thing started as a way to keep the Yuba River back.
Yep.
Before the days of the levees, they would have the Chinese community would come together, and I'm sure the Indian community would do their lack of rain dance, if you will. But he was the deity, the Bok Kai, and they did this.
Correct.
Praying,
He's
I guess,
the
if you will.
deity of water,
Yeah.
and he keeps Marysville from flooding, is what the tell says.
Yeah.
And that he brings water for the crops in the spring. So, yes, back in the day before levees, that was what they did. They went to, praise him and give him gifts, and, it's his birthday, so we celebrated him to say, please don't flood our community.
Is that what it is? It's his birthday?
It is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
And he's old. He's older than me.
What do you get for him? What do you get, like, being that old? Do you get wood, or is it like a chunk of dirt?
well, from what I've seen for the worshipers that go into the temple, he gets like roast pig and apples and oranges
like nice
and the
cakes and
whole
things
deal.
like that. That is a good point. Let's talk about the temple, because that is on the national historic places, is it not?
It is.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of the only Taoist operating temples in California, if
So
not
it's
here
continually
state.
operating.
It is. So you can walk in there to
With the
worship.
prayer wheels and everything?
Correct. Like the one in Oroville,
Yeah.
that one's state owned. So you can't, there's no worshiping. You go into as a museum to look at it. But here we have both. We have our museum that finished, and then you can go in and worship and, pray to Bok Kai and ask for rain or ask for, healing, things like that.
It's interesting to know the layout, though. I mean, if you look at it, you think, why is it facing the levee? Well, it was there before there was a levee.
Correct.
And right next to
So
it.
they have to turn it around now, right?
Yeah, they would have to.
Lift the building, turn it around, right?
But also right next to it is where the road went over the levee up until like the 1970s or 1960s or something like that, because that was the main drag away you got from Marysville into Linden Olivehurst was at the end of D Street, which is right where that beautiful park is now.
Correct.
And that's where we're going to have the life-size statue or life-size plus of Cotton. And
Right,
Correct.
right. The bronze.
we got a few things going on there. Tell us about that arch, if you will, there. And what does it mean? Is there a special meaning to the Chinese community?
The one that enters into the temple?
Yeah.
It's just an archway that, identifies that that the temple's there, and they've had that there, for many years. But we have an archway, hopefully planning as a fundraiser, further down on 2nd and C. We don't have a traditional archway like most Chinatowns do in San Francisco or Denver or Seattle. And so we have a fundraiser going for something like that here, and hoping it'll be just as glorious as those in other cities.
Was Candace, was that whole area Chinese at one point? Is that what it was? That was the whole part of downtown was, because we always think about that. I was born in Brooklyn. You go one block and you're in a whole nother culture, right? And San Francisco's a little bit still like that. You have certain areas, right? So in Marysville, was that the Chinese area?
Yes. That was Chinatown, and it was once bigger than San Francisco.
Wow.
So imagine what they used to have here in the 1800s. That whole area, I think up until like 3rd, maybe even further, but I know for 3rd to 1st was like all of Chinatown.
Let's, if we could, talk a little bit more about the day itself.
Yeah.
festivities throughout the day. It's you said it starts at 11 o'clock. There'll be mask making things probably over at the library. That's always a traditional part of it.
Correct.
But is there any other things besides, like the Bomb Day festivities? Isn't that Sunday?
Bomb Day is Sunday at 4 at the intersection of 1st and C.
Okay.
And then you get to, watch all the young Chinese gentlemen scrabble for rings of good luck for the year.
Oh, you get a black eye. They do.
Black eye, bloody hands, roughed up knees, all of it.
They take it seriously, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. So but they're going for a ring. Is that what it is?
It's a ring, and each ring has a number, and there isn't a number that duplicates itself. And each number signifies something of luck. And you would go into the temple. If you were a lucky winner of a ring, you'd go into the temple and register your number. And then it'll give you your fortune. And each number, once you obtain that ring, you technically have the right to buy it back each year. So it could be yours as long as you choose.
Is the Bok Kai Temple going to be open?
Yes.
During the entire weekend? Is it going to be open for tours and people, kind of docents, to tell you about some of the stories?
Unfortunately, not for tours and docent tours on that weekend, because we have so many worshipers that come nationwide to pray. I would not recommend. You wouldn't be exactly turned away, but I wouldn't recommend trying to explore or want a tour of the temple those weekends. I know that I think it's like the first Saturday of the month they do have temple tours. I don't know the exact date, but I can always share.
What about the Chinese American Museum, which is right next door to it, right?
So the one
kind of out front.
Chinese American Museum's on 1st and C, so about half a block down. That one's open. I believe he'll be open. I think the Chinese school might be open for tours because they've refinished that. However, the temple itself, it's just so crowded. I remember one morning I needed to go get something for parade morning, and I couldn't even myself get through the door.
It is a small thing. The whole thing is maybe as big as our studio here.
It's actually a lot bigger inside.
That's the whole thing. I've been inside just the front door. This has been on. You remember Huell Hauser?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
California's gold. California. Yeah. He actually came to town and did a little tour of that. It's well known, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell you what Hugh said when he walked in.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Amazing.
Everything was amazing, right?
He was great.
Yeah, he was. And those programs, you really can learn about the history of California through those programs. I know I got kind of hooked on them for a while because it was like, oh my gosh, it's how many things you don't know about.
Correct.
And I think about that, here, that's what we keep discovering, right? Like I would have never known anything about Bok Kai. So we find those things, right? We have the people on the air. And it's like today, it's like one thing to know, we have the parade. And somebody might even know, the parade is about the water god, the deity, right? Or they might know, the legend is it never rains on Bok Kai, right? But when it comes right down to the whole Chinese community, all the stuff that goes on, right, all the things that are downtown. Because I remember Heather telling me one year they were just beginning to raise money for the school, to redo the school. And so there's been sort of a renewed interest, right?
Most definitely.
In the buildings and restoring that part of the downtown area. And I just think that's awesome. But again, if we didn't bring people like you on to say so John could go, well, is it about this? And you go, right? I mean, how else do you find out about this stuff? And then like Candace had said, that there isn't as many Chinese in this area, right? So sometimes they come.
They do come from out of the area.
Yeah, but I want to say that because, like you mentioned, Beal, it's a community thing. The community. So it's like Bok Kai. So you can volunteer. You can get on the webpage and find out about donations to whatever's going. Vendors, how to be a vendor, a parade participant.
Correct.
All those things are available. And I just love that it's the oldest parade.
The oldest continuous parade.
Yeah.
And we didn't break that through COVID either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then you
World
got
War II.
They continued through all of that.
Yeah.
The Spanish-American War, World War I, II, all of it. We didn't stop. Yeah.
So, and then they helped that tradition by having the oldest DJ to go.
No.
Are we going to have some of the visiting dignitaries? I always love that.
Yeah, they always do that. Yeah.
I don't know what the grand potentate of the Sui Sing Society or these other societies, or they call them tongs.
Tongs, yes.
Which is
a brotherhood is originally what it started as, but
Fish would recognize it's a borgata.
What?
A borgata.
Oh, borgata.
A borgata.
Yeah.
It's a group of like-minded gentlemen.
Yes, a fraternity.
A fraternity.
Yeah, we call them paisans.
But yeah, we have some visiting from San Francisco. I don't know. Usually we have individuals who come from Seattle and Denver. Phoenix, LA, as those visiting, dignitaries from the Tongs. But I'm not sure exactly what the count is at so far this year. But I know for San Francisco, and we have our traditional,
well, we're on the map as far as the Chinese society or Chinese culture in America. We're on the map for that, and they probably know about us back in.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They'll all be here.
I want to make sure that people know there's still opportunity to volunteer to help in the parade, of course, to donate. Right?
Donate, volunteer,
parade participants, vendors,
yes,
and so it's not too late. I have to bring that up because you look and you think, well, March 5th is like right around the corner, so they can go to the website, which is
bokkaiparade.com, BOKKAI parade. So all one word.com. All of the forms to participate in any way are on the website. If you'd like to volunteer, send us a message to the webpage, and we'll get it and we'll get to you.
And the official end of getting entries, I guess, is on the 17th, which is day after tomorrow. But you're
for
flexible.
Vendors.
Oh,
for
vendors
vendors
okay.
is the day after tomorrow. I think parade entries is maybe next Friday. So they always
There's
kind of trickle in towards the end, but definitely get them in. Email them, scan them, and email them. Make sure we get them.
Okay. Candace Fresquez, Candace Young Fresquez. I imagine you get them mixed up like that. Or is it just me?
It's just you.
It's just me. It probably is.
I've never heard anybody mess that up, John.
I don't know why. I got this hang up. Candace Young Fresquez, former Bok Kai hostess, now parade chair. Basically, you are in charge of the whole thing.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Oh, come on. there has to be somebody. You're more than just a figurehead. You are the person that's actually out there getting things done, right?
I try.
Okay, and you have a website and a Facebook and all that other stuff?
I do all of those.
Okay, and just look up Bok Kai Festival.
Bok Kai Festival on Facebook and Bok Kai Parade on website.
What we didn't ask you, what year is this?
Year of the Tiger.
Year of the Tiger, okay. And I'm a Year of the Rabbit.
We said You're the Year of Rabbit, and Fish is Year of the Tiger. And it happens every 12 years. So for this year, it's 2022, 2010, 1998, 1986, 1974, 1962, 1950, and 1938. So if you were born in any of those years, you're most likely the Year of the Tiger.
1950.
I love when I go to like a Chinese restaurant and they have the thing on the
menu or the placeholder.
The placeholder, and you're like, okay, it says, oh, honey, I shouldn't have married you.
Yeah, we were
because
laughing about that when we talked about that because I thought, it's like it's a little too late.
Yeah.
July 19th, I will have been married 50 years.
Aww.
And I think Patty's a rabbit, January. So 51 is when she was born. And it's like well, those are only suggestions, right?
Yeah,
They're trying to keep you out of the,
They're
right?
just characteristic traits.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't necessarily
and it's
mean
like,
we all fit them.
I'm the Year of the Rabbit. I got a fuzzy tail.
Oh, nobody wants to know that, John. Nobody.
Candace Young Fresquez, Bok Kai Festival and Parade, Saturday, March 5th. The parade starts at 11 a.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 65 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted local expert for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
93Q, radio that you can actually see. Find out if DJs really